Hello. Am I able to be heard? That'll be the first hurdle. No pun intended. Just wondering if I'm audible to people. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it could be useful if you could hear me. Maybe not. Let's see. I also need to see if I can watch the chat from my phone. Oh, okay, good. So I can be heard. That's a good thing. Is it decent audio or is it like low? Hey, David. Mighty Hawk, how you doing? Okay. Good, good, good. All right. So I guess the first question I'm going to have is, does anybody know how I can watch chat from my phone? Because I've got the computer set up in one place because the cord for the webcam is only so long, but I want to sit down over here. Okay. I'm on the stream on my phone, but I can't figure out how to watch chat. I don't know. That's going to be awkward if I can't do that. But I mean, we can roll with it. It's just not what I was expecting. In portrait orientation, aha, that might be part of the problem. Thank you. Let's try this. Oh, yeah, I understand. It's more at this point, I think, trying to figure out how to do pull up the chat on phone. So I've switched over to portrait. I'm not seeing it right off. Hang on a sec. Well, I think I'm going to ignore that for the time being and just not worry about it. Yeah, I mean, because I got it in the portrait, but I don't see any different choices that pop up other than what I saw when it was in the vertical. I mean, it's muted, but that's because I don't want feedback. I just have no idea. All right, well, in any case. So what I wanted to talk about was what types of stuff I could or should be tracking for Bricklink and whatnot. As you can see, I've got a pen and some paper, and kind of wanted people's thoughts as to what types of things that I should track. And so I'll probably sit here for a while, and if people want to come in and out, not a problem. All right, JB, let's see. I had to refund an order this morning. I had parts sell that I didn't know how they were ever uploaded. They ordered 28 hands in new condition, but I never had that I can remember. Huh, that is kind of odd. Hey, Brick Room, how's it going? I'm doing pretty well myself, all things considered. I have all my quotes for my basement and exterior drainage issues as well as shoring up the one wall in the basement, and it is incredibly expensive, but it needs to be done. Hey, Leaf Hunter, how you doing? Gosh, it's got to be pretty early for you. Well, maybe not. You're probably a morning person, but 5 hours ago is what, 8 in the morning, right? Childish Shrek, hello. I don't recognize that name. A new person. And actually, going way back up, Aldis Udris from Latvia, I also don't recognize that name. So perhaps they have a different name somewhere that I'm familiar with. Cynthia, hello. Oh, 9 a.m. Okay, well, I had my conversion wrong then. I thought it was 5. I think it's 5 hours to Hawaii, and it maybe only 4 to Alaska then. Is Alaska all one time zone? I'm kind of curious. Interesting. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, obviously some sales are going to be one of the cornerstones of the types of things I'm going to track. But what other types of interesting things do people think I could track or should track? This is definitely going to be different than I was originally thinking, because I'm going to be standing this whole time, I have a feeling, because that's where I can see my laptop. Gotcha. Okay. So pretty much one time zone. I got it. Total quantity of color against fluctuation color sold. Okay. I'll make a note. I'm not really even sure how I would do that. Total quantity of color against fluctuation colors sold. What's a fluctuation color? 6 p.m. Mighty Hawk. Okay, you're in England. That's right. Oh, okay. The number of black pieces at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Well, I don't think I'd want to be tracking that daily. That seems like an incredibly large amount of data. But let me make a note here. Freedom lets you see how many pieces you sell each color. So now here's an interesting thing. So okay, wait a minute. Brickroom, I've been thinking about tracking how many parts in each category I sell so I could tell which type of pieces do best. Okay, I gotcha. So Brickroom, you're saying tracking them by category. I'm assuming those are the Bricklink categories you're referring to. You want to he has a pretty good range of heavy tracks. That would probably be a great summer. Yeah, I've watched a lot of his videos. So I find some of what he's tracking incredibly confusing. He has a background in inventory management in the professional sector, and so I think he's transferring that over, which is great. You know, if it works for him, that's perfect. But I think there's certain information in there that it's going to make my head spin. I worked in retail for a long time, so I mean, I plan on actually having a daily sales tracking instead of weekly or monthly. And that's, you know, I will have those as well, but that's just something that I'm going to kind of have that I'm kind of used to. And so I think that's why I'm doing it. And it makes sense for him. I'm pretty sure that they're most common colors. I'd be interested in seeing the percentage of what. The other thing I noticed, I was just thinking of too when I was making my note for the total quantity of colors, like if I had, you know, 1,000 black pieces at the beginning of the day, and I have 600 at the end of the day, does that mean I sold 600? Because maybe I also added 1,000. So it kind of like the data is only going to be useful enough to, you know, you got to keep some of that in mind. Yeah, it would be harder to share with other people if it was my categories, unless there was some way to translate that information. Yeah, I mean, all the power to him. I mean, he's coming right out the gun with a lot of really interesting information. All right, let's see. Dollar value sold, dollar value uploaded. Okay, but are you saying total or by color? Are we past the color, David? Okay, just go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the value uploaded is probably one I wasn't immediately thinking of because having worked retail, as I said, we track sales every day, so I would have that in there. I could even have seeing a column for like a returns, like if I had to issue a refund on a specific day, the day that it sold still counts as a sale back a week ago when it happened, but then it's like a negative sale the day that you do the return. So kind of tracking. You could theoretically have to refund an expensive part on a day you got no sales and have negative sales. I mean, it could happen. Not likely, but it could happen. So this is actually just thought of that too. So I mean, I'll make a note of that myself. But I really like the idea of tracking the upload too, because then you can kind of see how things are moving on that schedule. I mean, and of course, I'm going to have to put myself on some sort of a schedule once I get to that point. Bricklink, piece count rank, and lot count rank, either in US or globally. Probably weekly would be best for that one. Okay, I'll make a note of that. I like that. You could track which pieces in the world you get the most order. Oh, places in order most order from. Not sure what you would use that data for through too. Yeah. Yeah, I actually was 5 subscriptions away from 300 overnight. I got a notification that somebody had subscribed, and I went and looked, and they've got a YouTube channel, but it's like just their own personal stuff, like family videos or something, I think. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I have a feeling they probably are the same person that desubbed. I think people will do that. They'll see something, they'll subscribe to it to go look at it when they have more time, and yeah, maybe it's not for me, and then they'll unsubscribe. That's okay. I've been trending upwards a little bit. It's just slow, and that's the way it is. But I like that too. The countries ordered from, uh, orders to, not from. That would be for me. I was also thinking of doing that by like states and stuff. Apparently, does Brick Freedom allow you to create a map? I think somebody said they did. 6 from 200. Very good. So if anybody on the stream hasn't subscribed to Leaf Hunter, please do. As far as I'm concerned, he has produced the definitive video on putting barcodes on your drawers. It is an incredible video. And as long as you can get past one minor issue that Avery just kind of seems dumb with, you'll be fine with that. And that's a great video. And he's worth subscribing just for that. Yeah. And so, it's going to be the ups and downs. I will say, for anybody who's running a YouTube channel or considering it, I did something, probably 6 months ago now or so. Maybe not. It was in March, I think. So yeah, it's about 6 months ago. I uploaded like 9 videos on the same day, and I think I lost 9 people. And I'm like, okay, so they don't like a lot of content all at once. So we stopped doing that. And also, I had thought that I hadn't missed a video since February, but I actually looked back, and apparently there was a couple of singular days in April that I missed. And I think it might have been a case where it was a time zone issue. Like I thought I was on time, but it was probably like, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning and they're still on Eastern time. And I thought maybe they're Central or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, wow. So, but I'm about 4 months in now getting a daily video. So I feel pretty good about that. Like, you're welcome, Leaf Hunter. Absolutely. I mean, I don't have it bookmarked. I know where to find it, but yeah, I'll be going back to that when I actually make my labels. I did some test labels to kind of see what I like the look of. I like the idea of having the barcode on the front. I'm definitely going to do that. I just can't decide if I'm going to put the barcode on the left or the right or underneath the number. There's a certain balance part of me that wants it to be under, but it's also, as you mentioned, thinner. So I just don't know. We will see how it comes out. But yeah, Brickroom, I really like the idea of tracking the places that I've gotten orders from. I was thinking of like maybe a map with a cork board or something and putting pins in it, but I have a feeling that the map would get very cluttered with pins in some areas. So what I might do is I might see about getting like a thin sheet of metal and putting a map on it and using magnets. So I wouldn't be putting holes in the map. And then I could get magnets of different colors so that, like, you know, a plain black magnet is like one order, and then a different color is like, oh, we're up to like 5 or 10 orders in this area, and I switch to a different color. I just thought it might be interesting. Yeah. But so yeah, and so I know that you said Brick Freedom counts the colors. That's really interesting. And they'll do that cross-platform, or is it just Bricklink? I mean, I'm probably going to open with just Bricklink for a short period of time before I add Brickowl. I think that's just a smart move. And of course, there's still going to be that soft opening. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a soft opening for Bricklink, release a code to get some people in, get some feedback on how it's set up, learn the system, close down a little bit, and then do the same sort of thing with Brickowl at some point. Just do a soft opening with Brickowl, learn that system a little bit. I've also been on the Brick Freedom Discord for quite a while, paying attention to things and trying to learn what types of issues people are having before I make a final decision what direction I'm going for that. I mean, it makes sense to use it. It seems to have a lot of utilitarian uses. I'm just not sure that's going to be the best. And I think that there's probably going to be other things. Like I know that like Just a Brick in the Bucket and Ralph's, and I think AZ was also tracking like their fans on Bricklink, and I think that makes sense too, tracking the fans. I'm not really sure if it correlates to a lot. I also think that after a while, you're probably going to slow down accruing fans because as you get a lot of people coming in and making you a fan, there's going to be less people that are likely to use that feature that'll be adding you. So I mean, the number of people on Bricklink is growing, but I think the number of people that are using the fans is probably not growing at the same rate. All right, Bricklink store page visits. Okay. And that would basically be how many people are coming to look at the store, or at least pop their head in. That makes some sense. I do know from watching some people on YouTube, even non-Bricklink things, that that number could end up being inflated because of the YouTube channels. People go and check it out from the YouTube channel, but they don't actually even buy anything. So I could have a lot of hits in there for people poking around, but not anything else. David says, Brickling has a nice stat to active carts. Oh, that's interesting. So you can know how many carts people have in there. Now, here's an interesting thing. A cart doesn't mean that piece is sold. can more than one person have the same piece in their cart? I would imagine so, because if it doesn't reserve it, it just makes sense. Brick room. Let's see. Is there a way to track how many times a piece of yours was viewed? Because if, say, it was viewed 2,000 times and it wasn't sold, then you could know to lower the price, if that makes sense. It does make sense. I have a feeling that data is not available. Okay, yeah. So once it gets bought, the other person will error out on their list. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It probably just deletes the one item from their list or gives them a message. It probably doesn't choke their entire list, hopefully. Unless that was their entire list, then it would. Had that happen on Bricklink before. Yeah, I think I have too, to be honest. I assume many of you may have already watched the new Just a Brick in the Bucket vlog. And I had a couple of things that I mentioned. I sent a message to them via Discord suggesting that their tote labels get put in behind like a clear plastic sleeve, so that they don't have to redo them. Because like right now it says like modify decorated pieces, like 5 bags. Like, well, if they add another bag, they have to change it to 6, and so they have to make a new sticker. I'm just like, slide a card in so you can see it through that. And then I noticed 2 interesting things. There's a really old license plate on the floor. I have a feeling that's Paul's. And then there's also what appears to be a built sailing ship with the black sails. And I think that's the Black Pearl. Is that the only one that had black sails? I don't know for certain. All right, let's catch up a little bit. Something like 1 or more items was deleted or no longer available. Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah. I don't know. Does anybody have any familiarity with if a part changes price after you have it in your cart? Do you get a message on that as well? Because I was concerned in one case where I wanted to buy something in quantity from someone, but I wanted to ask for a shipping quote, and I didn't want them to go, oh, they want to buy all of that, I should go raise the price. You do and get X amount of time to check out with the original price. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. And that's on Bricklink. I wonder if Brick Owl has something similar. Is it X amount of time from when you find out there's a price change, or an X amount of time from when the price change occurred? Because you might not even notice until it's too late. Items in your cart have changed. I think I've seen that before too. If it was in your cart at 5 cents and you increase it to 6 cents, Bricklink will notify and let you know to check out, I think. Okay, that makes some sense. So here's a question. So like a lot of people, and I will be one of them, will be tracking lot count and part count. How often do you think that's useful? I mean, would that be a daily or a weekly useful thing? All right, David, let's see. From what I understand, Bricklink users build carts over several days. If they are shopping a storefront, wanted list orders are placed immediately. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me too. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if the curiosity will get the better of me at times when people go in and purchase an item from me that's like, one item, and they pay a ton of shipping, and it's like, and it was cheaper elsewhere for cheaper shipping. It's just like, I wonder how they do that. I mean, I can see tracking lots and parts on a daily basis, but that's also would partially be covered by the value of the items. That's kind of the same type of information, not quite. I like to write my lot and piece number at least twice a day, once right after packing orders and once when I'm done uploading for the day. Geez, yeah, that's true. So you could have a beginning of day, after shipped orders, end of day after uploading, and then you could even have, yeah, because then after, and it's going to vary even in there because you can get orders coming in at all those different times. So like while you're shipping orders, you can get another order, and so it's kind of weird. Although it would probably just in generally go down. You're probably not going to have a case of it going up at a point where you're not doing something to add. When you write down the lot and piece number twice a day, do you keep that information, or is it just you jotting it down somewhere to see how that day goes, and then it's kind of like out the door with you? Oh, I had a delivery from FedEx. I'll get that later. And a running. Okay, so you're keeping that data. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, you could do it at the end of the day only. I write lots, parts, date and time, and inventory total value. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you could do it once a day at the end of the day, but it's not going to really give you an idea how much you uploaded versus how much sold. You could upload and sell the same number, and it looks you flatten out. Huh, when am I planning on opening? Well, here's the problem, Brick Room. Uh, Basement. I mean, as it is right now, the work that needs to happen in the basement around the inside perimeter, they need to jackhammer the entire perimeter and then insert a drainage pipe essentially around the bottom base of the floor. And that's going to create a ton of dust. So right now, with all those drawers I have in already down there, they're empty, but I'm going to have to pull them all and probably put them in the crouch space. I need to find out if that's probably going to be protected enough. I mean, the door will be closed, so I think it probably will be. Um, and then all the Lego sets that I brought down there just to like move some stuff out of the way, they're going to have to come out. So, and they're also not talking about doing that work for a couple of months. They have a lot of exterior weather dependent work. They're complete foundation replacements that they cannot work in frozen situations to do that. So they need to do those first. So mine gets pushed, unfortunately. And it sounds like it's going to be a 2 to 3 day project to do. They tell me late fall. I'm kind of interpreting that as late October or November. At this point, and because of that, I really can't add parts to drawers until the drawers are reassembled and all that. I mean, at this point, it's probably going to be first of the year, to be perfectly honest, because I mean, the holidays are going to get busy, and then I'm going to have need time to get stuff in the inventory before I can actually open. I mean, I could open with like 2 pieces, and it's not going to do me any good. And so it's unfortunate. It's so many delays, but I'm just going to keep plotting forward with some of the stuff that I can do, and try to make the best of it. I mean, still going to sort used, and I'll just have a huge backlog of that. I may even start washing it and then putting the washed pieces in other types of containers for breaking them down further. And I could even break down the categories further on the washed pieces, but getting in and actually adding them to Bricklink is not a smart move because I won't have drawers available to put them in, and I won't have an idea of space needed and numbering system, and like all that's going to just have to wait. Because once they're done with that work, there will be more work that needs to be done, but it'll be outside. So I can do that work, have them do that work while I'm getting the store going. Yeah. So all the drawers will probably be in the crouch space, and I think even the door without the towel, but I probably would put something there. We'll keep the dust out, but I don't want to be trying to move drawers in and out of that because you're crouched over with pieces in them. So they're just going to go in empty to keep dust from showing up in the drawers, not necessarily on pieces, but on the drawers. So yeah, it's just this big process, and I've got other things going on. I mean, I've got almost the entire house has no siding on it at the moment because they're going to be putting up new siding. They're going to be replacing some windows, so I need to move stuff that's in front of windows that they're replacing for me. But we're waiting on windows and the new siding to arrive before all that gets to be thing. So I have been reorganizing the bedrooms and putting stuff on plastic shelving units that I've been getting from Ollie's. Basically, one of the cheapest options that probably don't hold a lot of weight compared to some of the other ones, but for boxed Lego sets, it's fine. And then, so I've got one bedroom that's completely shelved with them now with stuff on them. And there's more in that bedroom now than there had been before. The second bedroom is well on its way to getting fully shelved. And then we will see how much the third bedroom gets into that room. And then I will be probably using the third bedroom as space to put stuff in that's in front of windows that needs to move. So yeah, it's a big juggling process all the way around, and it's disheartening in some ways, but I'm just going to try to keep pushing forward to get things moving as smoothly as possible once I get to that point. I mean, the nice thing is I'll continue to learn ideas. It's sort of like, you know, the one of the first ideas was putting the barcodes on the drawers that I got quite shamelessly from Just a Brick in the Bucket. I mean, great idea. I mean, I know personally I have a tendency to sometimes miskey numbers. I like the number pad, and I'm pretty good with it from having worked in bookstores for so long and having to key in ISBN numbers. But I'm not perfect at it. I mean, I couldn't get a job at like data entry or anything like that. So that's a great idea. It's going to eliminate a point of error for me, and like I won't lose a piece because I write down or I key in the wrong drawer number. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm learning, and that's all I can do. Okay, well, you take care, Brick Room. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Not sure how long I'll be here. Hey, it's Just a Brick in the Bucket. They were just mentioned. How's it going? How many or which one of you do I have, since you don't have a name-specific name? I know somebody else, I think on your Discord has their name and then their first name after it. Just Evan. Okay, well, that's fine. So yeah, we're just making a list of all sorts of ideas of stuff that I can track and other stuff that's kind of been talked about. The expensive drainage and basement issues that I'm going to be dealing with. And I think Brick Room asked when I was going to be opening. And at this point, it's probably going to be first of the year. I just have so much that I can't do anything before other things happen. And a lot of what the progress I made in the basement is now going to be going backwards. The shelves and the drawer units that were attached to the original exterior walls have to all come down. Not just the drawers, but I mean, actually the shelving parts, because they need to jackhammer around that outside edge. The floaters will be fine. They can stay, but I'm going to pull all the drawer units and put them in the crouch space because I don't want dust in them. And when they jackhammer the entire perimeter, it's going to create a lot of dust. So yeah, I can't put pieces in drawers, and at this point I'm not going to label the drawers because I want to make sure that they're in the right place before I label them. It's just I even have sets in the basement that I basically moved categories, like all the brick heads went down there because it wasn't a lot, and it just got it out of my hair up here. All that's going to have to come back upstairs. So it's a nightmare in some ways of logistical juggling. It is lots of work. You are absolutely correct on that. There's no question about that. But yeah, we talked about things to track. I mean, I've got all sorts of notes, lots of ideas from David. I think it was, I want to say Brick Room, who suggested tracking like where parts had been sold to. I think that's kind of cool. And I guess Brick Freedom offers a map. I think I heard someone say that at one point. But I was also thinking maybe get a sheet of metal, put a map on it, and then use magnets to attach to that to show where sales had gone to. I could even change the color of the magnet as I have more sales. So like, let's say I have a bunch of sales go to New Jersey, I think get a different map. I haven't seen the map on Brickling. Okay, well, maybe they don't have one. I thought there was. I thought I'd seen somebody mention it, but it's just one of those things. So, Evan, since you're here, and I mentioned this earlier, I had just watched your newest vlog before I started the stream, and I noticed a couple things. Now, I did make a comment in the Discord. The first one was a suggestion for you guys for your totes for the sorted, to be sorted bags, attaching some sort of a clear panel on the tote that you could slide a card in and out of, so you don't have to keep rewriting the stickers, even if you just add another bag of the same type of piece. You can just pull the card out and do that. And then the other thing is, I noticed there's an old license plate on the floor. I'm guessing that's Paul's. And then I noticed it looked like you had maybe the Black Pearl in a box. I don't know. I think I saw it. Saw the comment. I think it's a great since the sticky note labels also kind of fall off over time. Oh, it was the sticky notes. I thought they were actual stickers, but yeah, the sticky notes. And you could actually still use, like, they must be like sticky note flags. You could still use those, but put them on a card. And once you slide it in the little panel, it would probably protect it. And if you had, I don't know if you're keeping your stickers in like page protectors or anything. And a page protector is probably too big. But if you got the ones that were for like postcards that I know Derek at Pop's Block Shop uses, you could cut those and use like a single postcard size, and then use like a piece of postcard stock to put the stickers on, or the post-its. But yeah, I mean, could be a suggestion. See, I could have sworn I saw a map. Maybe it wasn't Brick Freedom. Maybe it was one of the other ones. Like somebody was his grandfather from years and years ago. Very old one. Yeah, I forgot to mention the Black Pearl. We did get a used one. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I tend to be an observant type. Try to be at least. Yeah, I have an old license plate collection somewhere. Huh, I have no idea where it is. Actually, here's a funny thing. So I worked at B. Dalton until like January of 1994 for a few years. And a friend of mine is moving out of his house, going through boxes, and he found a box of like my old B. Dalton stuff, like it has a name tag in it and some other stuff. We're not sure how he got a hold of this box, but I'll be getting it back soon. Kind of weird. I need to go look one of your end of month videos again, Evan, because I know that there's some stuff that you track that I should probably be tracking too. I mean, I'm going to track some stuff on a daily basis, but then I will aggregate some of it into um, a table like that on a monthly basis as well. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the page protectors are a great idea. We'll do something like that soon. Haven't moved our stickers over to a binder yet, but that's the plan. We have one drawer that has over 60 lots of sticker. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And I did see the suggestion to Brick Freedom, but I would back that. I would just be kind of an interesting thing. I was also thinking of tracking the same thing domestically. I could have a separate, larger map of just the U.S. Because I have to have a feeling most orders are going to go to the U.S. And I probably will actually start with U.S. only, just until I get a feel for shipping again. Somebody I was watching a video, they sold like, I think it was Pops. He sold an $11 piece to someone in Canada, and they paid like $14.95 in shipping. I was just like, holy cow. Parts, lots at end of month, beginning of month. Okay, let me make some notes here. Yeah, I'm going old school. I got paper. Parts added. Now, okay, hang on. Parts sold. Orders. gross sales, U, average order amount. Yes, that's definitely a good one. Orders per day. Days open front. That's a good one. And fans. Now I have a couple of questions. So your gross sales, I'm assuming, is that including or not including postage? Um, and the parts added. How are you tracking parts added, or is that just from beginning of month or end of month to beginning of month, or beginning of month to end of month rather? Because I mean, you could sell a lot but add more, and so it looks like you only added a small amount. Let's see. JB, I used to have a digital map, an online place where you could just add the zip code and it would put a virtual pin on the map. Well, that's cool. Your parts added like this: parts at the end of month plus parts sold minus parts at the beginning of month. Okay, so it is actually the number of parts that you added. Very cool. 215. Oh yeah, that's a ways back. But yeah, there's probably some sort of an online thing I could do too. I just thought it would be nice to have it on a wall down there somewhere. Something else you mentioned in your most recent video, Evan, was your lighting. Now you really like having the additional lighting, and I agree, it looks good. And then it helps for the video. So that's something else I'm going to be looking forward to, is doing videos in my basement where the lighting is better. Gross sales includes every transaction for Brickling and Bricklink, so total transaction, including postage. Okay, gotcha. And you guys haven't started doing eBay at all, have you? Because that's something I'm definitely going to be doing. Just don't know how I'm going to track eBay, because eBay will have some non-Lego items as well. I mean, I could always cull out and just include the the Lego items, or just have a separate column: Lego eBay, non-Lego eBay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's kind of new. Look for the license plate. It's a hidden Easter egg. Yeah, I mean, I think eBay is probably going to be more useful, as Pops does mostly for minifigs, and Ralph, he does it just pretty much for minifigs. And I think the idea there is not cross posting. You basically have a Bricklink inventory and an eBay inventory, and because I think he's saying, generally speaking, you can get more money for the same figure on eBay. So I mean, same figure, you're doing the same work, pulling it and shipping it. Not necessarily a bad idea. We have a different document that I do not share that calculates profit and expenses and fees, shipping and all that stuff. I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I'll be sharing. Like, I know that like Pops just recently stopped sharing some things, but then he was still showing his expenses. I'm not sure I'd want to show my expenses. I mean, the amount of money I'm spending on stuff, or at least have in the past, I'm not sure I want to share that. I mean, my sales are going to start off pretty slow, so sharing that probably wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, but I mean, just because I'm not sharing it doesn't mean I don't want to track it. So I'm going to still make a note. Yeah, I started placing some items on eBay, some of Derek and Ralph. Yep. Sometimes embarrassing. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Now, so for everybody here, how are you running the store as far as your taxes? Now, I'm not looking for tax advice. I wouldn't ask that for any of you. Um, well, if Cynthia's still here, I might. But in any case, do you have a separate entity that is the business, or is it still is it like part of just a brick in a bucket. There's three of you. Is it part of one of yours taxes, or have you created a separate entity for it? I'm kind of curious because I'm looking at that. Like if I have employees slash contractors and that sort of thing, and expenses, and it's like I would like to at some point be able to get tax exempt status. It just makes some sense to me if I have that all as this other thing and create DOTU Bricks as this entity, and then work off that, because I think it would probably be easier than just still running it under me, which is kind of what I have been doing. I mean, it's been kind of nice, my exercising some of the investments and making money off of those to pay for things. It's been a blessing, but it's been offset in the amount that I'm spending for the business in stock. So my taxes in the last couple of years have been zero. So LLC. Paul and I are the two members of it, and Kyle has actually dropped ownership of the company. Paul and I are W4 employees to the LLC, which is nice. Okay, I gotcha. All right. Does that mean Kyle is around less? I like Kyle. Quiet, but I like that. And I certainly get his camera shy position. As you can tell, I haven't been on camera yet, unless you count my hands and arms. W9. Now the contractors, when they do their contract work, they have a limit to how much they can do per year themselves, or is it for you? I mean, at some point, are they forced to become an employee if they do too much work? Sole proprietorship, paper, whether the could be rude awakening answer. Yeah. And in all honesty, Ben, I would contact someone sooner than later, because if you can start working on some stuff now, it'll make the first of the year better. Plus, they're less busy now. That's good. Well, I hope to still see him around sometimes. Tell him I said hi next time you see him. So yeah, I'm gonna go talk to my tax guy. And how about, here's another interesting question, kind of off the topic of what to track, but oh well. Insurance. Have any of you insured your stores, your inventory, and how did you go about that, and how was the experience if you did? Yeah, Leaf Hunter, I would definitely say talk to somebody. I have some goals in mind, and I definitely don't want to be caught with my proverbial pants down. Through to the storage unit. Okay, that's cool. Did they offer you different insurance levels? Contractors, at least in California, can work as much as they want for a company. They just do not get benefits or taxes removed. And if they make more than 650 hours, they get a 1099 tax. Okay, at the end of the year from the company. So okay, so now you mentioned that you and Paul are getting W4s, and you're giving will be giving W9s to your contractors. I can't remember if you had any contractors last year or not. How are you generating those? Like, I wouldn't have the foggiest idea how to generate that. All right, that's cool, David. Yeah, good accountant. They're worth their money in gold. That's for sure. Yeah, and Leaf Hunter, if you're not aware, Cynthia Wynn, who is on the Discord for Just a Brick in the Bucket and was here earlier, she may or may not still be here. She is an accountant. She is in California, so she's not going to be able to help you directly. And I think she works for a company, so she might not be able to actually officially help anybody directly. But she might be able to give you some pointers as to what to look for in an accountant when you're looking. Yeah, I imagine it would be kind of slim up there. Yep. It's possible that you might be able to get somebody maybe in Washington, who also does, is licensed in Alaska. I don't know. We have a payroll service which pays out to contractors and keeps track of all the numbers at the end of the year. It is a simple button press. Okay. So you're paying for a payroll service. Okay. And then you just have to give them information on a weekly or every other week, however you're paying people for them. So they send money. And then, of course, you have to pay them that money plus their fees. Okay. I can see how that could work. Your renters interest. I'm pretty sure I've got to adjust our coverage amounts now. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. You don't want to get caught on that one. But I know you're also looking to buy a house, aren't you, Ben? Also pays Paul and I, which takes out the taxes and stuff, which is great. Yep. 2 weeks and it tracks it. Okay. Very cool. Is it a local company to you there, Evan, or is it a national place? Because if it's national, you don't mind sharing who it is, I'd be curious. But if not, that's okay too. So far, doing business as. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I've been doing, David. And this is a question that I just thought of. I don't know, a few days ago, David. Do you prefer David or Dave in casual conversation amongst people? I just always call you David because that's what it says, but I don't know. Sure payroll. Okay, I'm going to write that down. That's pretty cool. And so, yeah, if it's something you can sign up with and it's really easy to track, that might be the way to go. 40 per month plus like $4 per employee or something like that. So we have 4 contractors at the moment and 2 employees. Okay, so that's 6 for 24. So $64 just in fees per month. That's not too bad. David for me. 2 of my older relatives say Dave, but I've always been called Dave. Okay, well, David it is then. I have a personal friend locally who's like on social media. His name is David, but he goes by Dave like in person. And that's kind of why I thought of it and why I asked. That's not bad though, the prices. I'll have to look into that. I have some opportunities for, I have 2 or 3 people now who have said that they would be interested in helping me out with different things. So once I get to the point where I can actually have people help me out, I think it'll work out. Um, Running gear. Oh, we're going to use this QuickBooks, which is like $60 per month, which you can print checks from, and it also keeps track of 1099 contract stats and stuff, but it's not a payroll service. So, okay. And that's your production company, the Running Gear. I gotcha. Brickling wouldn't pay W-4 employees and remove taxes and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All right. $60 a month for QuickBooks. Holy cow. But I mean, I'm guessing you've never actually mentioned this, but when you work, your full-time job, like when you're on set somewhere and you had to travel and get up earlier in the morning, is that actually Running Gear who is have been hired by this company and you're working for Running Gear, or is it they've hired you? Because I can see if it was Running Gear, then yeah, you'd need to have something complex for them to keep track of that. QuickBooks also keeps track of all expenses stuff, which can be categorized and makes taxes very easy at the end of the year. Yep. Yeah, so many. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't know how that. Yeah, again, I need to talk to my tax guy about. And I'm not looking for a tax guy. Kind of knows what I've been doing, because he's processed like my receipts and stuff. I do a spreadsheet of the receipts and just send him the spreadsheet, so he's thankful for that. But my insurance people they have no clue, and I'm gonna walk in there and I don't have any idea how they're gonna react to trying to insure all this. Let's see. Is there QuickBooks that allows mobile and computer services? I don't know. Maybe running give something to me. It just depends on what practice and who's hiring there. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. It makes reselling general tough to keep books. So many inventory purchases, not monthly wholesale orders. Yeah. I'm going to let people react to Ben's question there in case they can help him out. And there are 6 people here at the moment, it appears. Hello, hello, hello. So Evan and Ben and David and myself. I think it counts me. Well, maybe it doesn't. I think I logged out on my phone, so I'm not on my phone as well at the moment. Oh, well, I got a notification almost an hour ago that I didn't notice that Child of Shrek subscribed. So thank you very much if you're still here. Oh, and Leaf Hunter is still here. Have you mentioned what your name is? Because I mean, I can call you Leaf Hunter. I can call you by your name. Depends on if I know it or not. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Eric. Oh, well, I've known 2 Erics in my life that I've been very good friends with. So that's a very promising name. I like that name. It's an app which allows me to scan receipts and say whether transactions were business or personal, but it looked like it was separate from the computer stuff. So you basically want to be able to use the mobile app and have it hook into a laptop slash PC version of QuickBooks. That makes a lot of sense to me. If they haven't done it already, I would severely question why. And of course, after this stream goes up, feel free to leave a comment below or message me if you come up with like, oh, you should track this. Yeah, David, that's something I've been wrestling with is no physical receipts for some stuff. And like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Shop Goodwill, you can only go back so far and look at the stuff online. And I think it says 6 months, but I've looked and I'm pretty sure that it's less than that. I need to go and try to print up receipts for anything I didn't already get receipts for, which is going to be a nightmare in trying to figure out what I have, what I don't have. So I might just print out everything that's there. And if I have duplicates, I have duplicates. Because sometimes they send a packing slip and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have prices on them and sometimes they don't. For running gear, it is the same account on mobile and computer, but we have a business account also on LLC. So we cannot categorize things as personal since we can't have personal expenses. So I don't know how that works. All right, gotcha. Okay. Well, that makes some sense. Oh man. So now, and I did see also, Ben, that you said probably next year for the house. That it's not a good time to buy a house. I mean, I can't blame you on that one at all. Try to wait it out. I actually, I mentioned earlier that friends are moving and found a box of old stuff from mine that probably got sent to their house by mistake, and they they sold their house and are moving into an apartment um, because they wanted to take advantage of the seller's market and make more money on the house than they thought they could have at a different time. And they have a young daughter. They want to move her into a better school district. And so with that, they have basically chosen their school district. And when the market gets better, then they will then turn and look for a house in that school district so that their daughter is still in the same school district. And I thought that was quite an interesting take. I mean, they're very serious about their daughter's education, which I commend them on incredibly, incredibly so. Nice and good, Doug. Great stream, good info. I got to get going. Have a wall to finish. Hopefully, take care. Catch you on the next one. Okay, well, take care, Eric, Leaf Hunter. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. David wants a hat. He's got a hat on his little profile pic there. Yeah, I see. My realtor, who I'm good friends with still, said I was incredibly lucky, and basically I got in at the last possible moment. My house was listed for one price. I looked at it. I wasn't really as interested. Kept looking. They lowered the price. I came back and looked at it again. Decided that yeah, could make it work. Offered them even less because that's kind of what you do. At least that's what I thought you would do. They counteroffered in the middle. We met in the middle. And then I think there was another slight concession because of something that came about in the inspection. And now people are paying, like, they're like, oh, you're asking, let's say $6 million. I'm just throwing a random price in it. They're just showing up and offering you $7 or $8 million. They're just like offering you more. So, I mean, it's counteracted with the fact that I'm sinking a ton of money in between windows, siding, replacing all the porches and decks, and all the basement work and drainage work that is being needed to be done, and then all the other work I've had done. I mean, I'm spending a fortune just in that. But it's been my mantra the whole time: when you need to get something done, do it right the first time. Yeah, yeah. It's not a good place right now to try to buy a house. So I feel for you on that. And so, Ben, you're primarily using the Brickmobile as just bulk storage before you list stuff, and you're still keeping your listed pieces up in the one room. Yeah. Well, it's not a bad way to do it. I mean, it works. I mean, and that Brickmobile is probably cheaper than buying like or renting like a 5 by 10 storage unit somewhere. So the part out is hanging out there for now. Bulk to the basement, Michigan basement. Oh yeah, well. You'll get that sorted too soon, David. I like Evan, how you've got the tote storage in behind your new rack. I haven't looked at the comments for that video. I do know I've seen some comments on the Discord about having the pieces be open air and subject to dust. I've looked at those racks before. I decided against them. I really hope it does work out for you. Clearly, you're getting more space for the same space than you were those shelves and the shoe boxes. But I will say that, and getting into the pieces is much better than the shoe boxes. You have to pull the shoe box. It may not be the top shoe box, and you have to open it. So dust on a new rack, definitely a concern. But there are little things we can get, the other thing you could consider doing is that as opposed to a lid, because I would assume that's going to be a fairly expensive solution. Look into getting like a giant clear plastic garbage bag and just drape it over it when you don't need to get to it. Pull it off when you do, or even at the beginning of your day and at the end of your day. I mean, I'm imagining, depending upon, I mean, you're not doing a lot more heavy construction in that area, so you're not generating a lot of dust. So it's just the natural occurring dust and anything that floats in from the doors. So you could also consider getting, because the garage door is right there, you could consider getting maybe a heavier piece of plastic, maybe from like Joann's or something like that, and permanently affix it to the back of the rack to create a barrier between the garage door area and the holes that support the bins and then the pieces. Just a piece of cloth for each night to cover with. That's a good cheap solution. Yeah, not too much dust, unfortunately, in there. But this would be a good test. Yep, absolutely. Well, somebody must have shown up because Leaf Hunter left, and now we're up to 5. Oh, there we go. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Kep 89. Well, hello. How are you? We've been going for just over an hour now. We were originally talking about things that I should track once I get my Bricklink store up and running, and or Brick Owl and eBay. We've kind of derivated from that some, and we're talking about other stuff. But if you've got suggestions, please pop them in. I have a feeling that we're probably going to wind down soon unless a bunch more people show up and start talking about stuff. It was not really planned to be a really long thing. A 2x4 plate for 5.25. Was it printed, Ben? Thank you, Cap. I'm probably more excited than anybody, but Brickling Strong. Well, very good. Light yellow. That must be a pretty rare piece then. Huh. Did they buy just that piece, Ben, or did they buy a bunch of other stuff too? Because that would blow my mind if they paid just that and then they're going to pay shipping on top of it. What is your Bricklink store, Kep? Go ahead and let us know. Get yourself out there a little bit. Because I think the rest of us pretty much know the stores in question. $306 bricks only. Oh, that's fine. You know, somebody might down the road come and watch the video and watch the chat and be in Canada. So you never know. A bunch of other 2x4 plates, a color chart. Color chart with plates, it's probably a little cheaper in general. Unless they, get 3 of them and make it brick height, then it's the same height. So, Cap, 306 bricks only ship Canada, though. So I'm not sure where the spacing is. Is it 306 bricks only the name of the store? Or 306 bricks is maybe the store? I'm just kind of curious what the store name is. And because I know I think there's a Bricklink store that goes by the name of 3001, which is the part number for the 2x4 brick. And that's pretty much all they sell is 2x4 bricks. And I was like, I'm just amazed. Oh, only U.S. seller with that plate. Now there's no U.S. sellers with that plate unless they become the only U.S. seller with that plate and they price it at $10. 306 bricks. Well, that's pretty cool. Is 306 the phone area code up there? I'm just curious where that came from. I guess I'm kind of curious in general about how and why people come up with their names. Like, it, out of the UK is Hillian's Bricks. Ah, it was a good choice then. And I thought Hillian's was like his last name, but it's not. It's apparently there's a sports team that's on the hill there, and they call themselves Hillians. And I was just like, oh, okay. It is a really good idea, Cap. I got to say, Ben knocked it out of the park with that one. But he also, I think he had the added bonus or the advantage that his church was getting rid of the bus, and he's like, well, how can I make use of that? And so I'm not sure he would have thought of it if they weren't getting rid of the bus. But no matter how you come up with the idea, it's still a great idea. Wow, most expensive one. Was it only in one set, Ben? I mean, I would check myself, but I don't want to mess up the live stream. And since, I'm on my laptop with that, I'm kind of just guessing that that's the only. Huh. I'm assuming yours was used too. Yeah, used. For 5.25 for used. It's the most expensive. That's newer used. Interesting. Well, when you just got to have it, you just got to have it, I guess. A Belleville set in 2000. Huh. I actually have run into two copies of the same Belleville set that I now have, and it's a bigger one. I don't know what year it was or anything, but I'm like, I bought one, and then ways later, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a neat set. I'll buy that. And now I have two. I'm hoping between the two, I at least have a complete set. Haven't looked into that yet, but that's my hope. I've also been leaving a lot of sets together for the time being, and I'm trying to decide what I'll do moving forward. I mean, I've actually bought a number of sets, and I actually talk about this. Yeah, I might have that plate. You are correct. um, I have a number of sets, and it'll be in a video coming up in a couple of weeks probably that I bought used, but I have new copies. And the reason I did that is because they were for my personal collection, and I was planning on opening the new copies. But if I can find a used copy for less than I would pay, than the new set is worth, now I basically turned the new set into more profit than I paid for the used one, and I still get to keep the set. Yeah, I remember that video, Ben, where you had it came from like a witch set or something like that. Some kind. That was a really strange set that they made. That was a pretty cool video. I'm always amazed by the interesting things that I see that I never knew existed. I mean, there's probably I'm sure some one of you will be able to come up with this number in a couple of minutes, but I think that Lego is up to like what 40 to 60,000 unique elements now over the years. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. Cap, if that question is going to me, how many pounds of Lego do I think I have? I've made a number of large purchases that were by pound, and at this point, if I'm not over 4,000 pounds, I would be really surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if I'm capping 5,000 pounds. Um, I have more than I should probably have, and I keep buying it. So that's a problem. I'm just, my hope is once I get up and running, that I can start going through it quicker than it's coming in so I can start to catch up. This one was from 5824, the Good Fairy's house. It was really cheap, so an add-on set to my order. I gotcha. Yes, the Good Fairy's house. I remember that. Yeah. I mean, there was somebody in the Discord that I bought a skid from. The skid still sits in the garage where it was left off by the delivery company, mainly because I don't have a pallet jack, and also now I have more stuff in front of it. That skid was supposed to be 500 pounds, but the trucking company, I guess, weighed it, and they weighed it like 770, and that includes the box and the pallet, so it's probably at least 700 plus. So yeah, yeah. I don't have a job per se. I'm not working anymore. So yeah, it's going to be full time, and it'll also be. I have a number of other people that will be helping me. I just can't get a lot of their help right now because of all the basement issues. I mean, if you're familiar with my videos, you'll probably have noticed that I have basement issues with water in the basement and drainage, and I just have a lot going on. I mean, only moved into the house. Well, I bought the house November 3rd last year, was election day. And then I immediately, like 2 days later, had guys starting the demo on two separate rooms in the basement because I wanted to open the entire basement up. And then I've had a lot of other work occur between then and now, and I still have more that needs to be done. So I'm hoping that sometime in November, I can actually start building up the store. And then I think at this point, I will probably just wait and open it at the first of the year because I think accounting wise, that might be smart being able to open it up at the first of the year. that means my calendar year, my fiscal year will be the same, and it might be easier to do things that way. Again, it's going to be stuff that I'm going to talk to my accountant about. I need to make an appointment with him. But I've been a little too busy for that going forward. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I can do that. And I think I will probably do more videos down the line, some live videos of going through bulk pieces and sorting and stuff like that. And just set it up much like I have here. This is my sort station. These categories are courtesy of David. And David, if you can get the link to your video, feel free to drop it down in the chat. He talks about how he sorts, and he has a way to get a hold of his categories there. I modified some of his categories, and I changed things up a little bit as to the way I do things. But I'm basically sorting into these book bins, which I really like these book bins. I find also if I sort up to about this level, so it's not all the way up here because it slopes down, but up to the level of the front, and then pour those pieces off, that pretty much will fill a 1 gallon Ziploc bag. So I sort down through this whole line. There's probably 18 or 20 categories. And like I said, I derivate a little bit from the way he has it set up, but I haven't actually changed the labels. I just kind of know in my head some of the things I've changed. And yeah, and I've got more bins on the other side over here for some categories that don't fit along this. And it's also so long that I can't realistically reach the far end over here and the far end over there when I'm sitting in the middle. So I usually have these drawers that I will put pieces in until it fills up and then dump it into the bin that's further away. But that's probably much more information that was needed right there. I also have the sets on display that'll be for the further giveaways. Once I reach the, let's see, this one is 400 subscribers, 600 subscribers, 800 subscribers, and 1,000 subscribers. They're all ready to go. And then the second prize is, I haven't put those out. I can maybe stack them on top of this one and put the boxes of rotini there. But this is also the staircase to the basement, and it's open. So I don't want to push a rotini box over the edge. I mean, if I pushed one of these boxes over the edge, it would get damaged, but I could just replace it. I'm not going to go buy a different box of rotini. So I may or may not put them up there. We'll see. All right. Well, it's been about an hour and 20 minutes. And I think I got some really good information for people. I want to thank everybody that stopped in. And I'm probably not even going to remember everyone. The Brick Room was here pretty early. Cynthia was in here pretty early. JB was the first one who posted in. I know Eric from Leaf Hunter was here. Evan from Just a Brick in the Bucket. David, Kep. And then there was some other people whose names that I don't remember. I'm going to scroll back. Let's see. There's been a lot of chat, but not those people. They were way back. There's the Brick Room head now. Mighty Hawk stopped in. It was evening for him. Yeah. Child of Shrek. Yeah. He had stopped in. He actually subscribed to the channel. So thank you for that. And I think that, oh, and then there was somebody also very early, Aldis Udris from Latvia. And I didn't hear from them again, but thanks for stopping in. No problem, Ben. Evan, thank you very much. And I think we're just going to end it here. I just got to figure out, oh, there's a big red end stream button. I now know how to do it. Thank you. Take care. Bye.